Welcome to the September synopsis of the Insurance Research Letter Live. Featured articles this month include Ensuring That You're Insured, Potential Pitfalls for Unwary Cyber Insureds by Judy Selby. Tell Your Kids to Sell Reinsurance by Bruce Heffner. A Lloyd's Broker Financial Director's View of the Back Office by Martin Cantor. Read these and other original and educational articles from world insurance business leaders. Subscribe to the Insurance Research Letter at irletter.com/subscriptions. Now for this month's featured presentation, Workplace Violence Prevention, Identifying Behaviors of Concern with Predictive, Actionable Intelligence by Karen Masullo, Chief Intelligence Officer at crisis management firm Firestorm. Prior to my current career, I worked in the career transition industry. While the delivery model has changed, the basic deliverable of career transition is to assist employees in their transition out of current employment. These transitions may be a result of restructuring, merger and acquisition activity, downsizing of operations, a reduction in force, or performance-related separations. As with any employment separation situation, and while each situation is nuanced by the people, culture, and climate involved, emotions and stress levels run high. It's a reality of the workforce life cycle that even those situations perfectly managed can result in threats or incidents of violence. Forewarned is forearmed. How many times after a transition-related workplace violence event have we read news that describes missed behavioral signals, the cry for help expressed beforehand by a perpetrator? We know that workplace safety is front and center in the minds of all boards of directors, senior leadership, management and employees, vendors and customers. More than 2 million acts of violence are reported annually, with incidents ranging from verbal threats to the use of weapons and physical violence. While there's no definitive behavioral truth, many perpetrators of workplace violence exhibit common warning signs and behaviors of concern long before they act violently. These warning signs, predictive intelligence, may appear in several ways. Warning signs detected early, such as in the hiring process itself. Warning signs observed over time to include changes in behavior or observed behaviors of concern by fellow employees and supervisors. Warning signs shared via technology, such as behaviors detected through the monitoring of public social media posts and conversations. Behaviors may surface through structured intelligence around keywords, keyword phrases, images, videos, and emoji, and meta and geo information. To make a workplace and the people in it safer, a prevention program must focus on just that, preventing the act of violence in the first instance. The implementation of a complete workplace violence prevention program incorporates threat detection capabilities, or predictive intelligence related to behaviors of concern. While behaviors of concern are not limited to only shared, social, or technology-based interactions, these types of applications do allow us early warning in a way that did not exist in past decades. Predictive intelligence, then, includes the analysis of publicly shared, aggregate, and individual user-driven social intelligence in addition to live, face-to-face observations. A challenge for many organizations, however, is in who owns social media and other monitoring in the organization. Many in an organization may be of the mindset that social channels are owned by marketing, and as such, marketing will flag and escalate behaviors of concern as a simple extra task added to their job description. Misassignment to an entry-level role, the responsibility for social media management is a sign that an organization does not understand the associated risks of inexperienced social media management. Likewise, assigning predictive intelligence to marketing teams is unfair to marketers who are trained to engage. This added duty puts them in a position for which they are unprepared, keeps them from their primary focus and role, and may actually escalate or aggravate a potentially violent situation. It is additionally irresponsible to assign analysis to employees untrained in investigative work, as constant exposure to negative and threatening images and content can create psychological and emotional fatigue. Predictive analytics requires specific training and specific skills. Risk assessment. Persons trained to conduct complete risk assessments on specific users to determine the risk level associated with certain individuals of interest. Situational awareness. training in the identification, processing, and analysis of critical information communicated across various social media networks. Complex link and relationship analysis, training in understanding how to visualize an individual's social activity to assist in identifying communities, inferring demographics, and understanding relationships and conversations. Understanding syntax and the elements of language. Comprehension of syntax in the context of language. Analysts must understand the difference between song lyrics, idle conversation, or a true potential threat. Training must address the cultural environment with data intelligence needs. Tools and application skills may include location analysis, the ability to identify activity relevant to an organization, its facilities or campuses based upon location-specific intelligence. Social reenactment, logical situational analysis and decision-making that allows the development of historical queries to recreate an event in time from a social perspective to find potential witnesses, suspects, or other insights. Intelligent data mining, the ability to intelligently gather, sort, and filter billions of social posts daily to specifically target and identify only the posts relevant to an organization's scope of interest. Just as in live face-to-face situations, technology-based threat assessment professional training should include a roadmap for an inquiry or assessment related to a social media threat. Questions may include: 1. What are the subject's motives and goals? 2. Have there been communications suggesting ideas or intent to attack? 3. Has the subject shown inappropriate interest in previous attacks or attackers? Weapons, including recent acquisition of any relevant weapon. Incidents of mass violence, terrorism, workplace violence, mass murderers. 4. Has the subject engaged in attack-related behaviors? These behaviors might include developing an attack idea or plan, making efforts to acquire or practice with weapons, casing or checking out possible sites and areas for attack, rehearsing attacks or ambushes. 5. Does the subject have the capacity to carry out an attack of targeted violence? 6. Is the subject experiencing hopelessness, desperation, and/or despair? 7. Does the subject have a trusting relationship with at least one responsible adult? 8. Does the subject see violence as an acceptable, desirable, or only way to solve problems? 9. Is the subject's conversation and story consistent with his or her actions? 10. Are other people concerned about the subject's potential for violence? 11. What circumstances might affect the likelihood of an attack? 12. Do social postings indicate the loss of a personal relationship, financial loss, legal action, loss of face or humiliation, significant personal rejection? When creating the predictive intelligent aspect of a behavioral analysis program, organizations must discuss how to balance people, systems, and technology-based solutions with a socio-cultural approach to threat detection and mitigation. As part of this discussion, it's incumbent upon teams to determine the appropriate level of effort, including investment required to deploy sufficient resources to detect activity, and the reliability and quality of the prediction capability that can be achieved. By using predictive intelligence, organizations may determine if there are looming threats, especially during high-stress events such as restructuring and employee separation. Through the combination of predictive intelligence tools with seasoned, experienced practitioners, approaches can be implemented that identify what is being said in social and traditional media in real time, not hours or days later. Through the combination of leading predictive intelligence with seasoned, experienced practitioners, lives can be saved. The application of experience in combination with the identified risks, threats, and vulnerabilities provides predictive, actionable intelligence. Last, and most important to the insurance industry, companies are beginning to understand the value of active shooter insurance programs. Thomas B. McGowan IV, CEO of the McGowan Company, says, quote, "Unfortunately, the most common places to fall victim to an active shooter is while a person is at work or in school. Many of our insured have a duty to ensure the safety of everyone who enters in their buildings. We need to help them do just that. Our intent is to become the preeminent writer of insurance for active shooter liability in the United States. To achieve this objective, we have worked with a number of industry veterans to design a liability product and crisis management services available to every class of business." End quote. According to McGowan program administrators, organizations have a duty of care to maintain a secure environment for their staff, tenants, patients, and visitors. In the event of a deadly attack, they could be liable for regulatory and civil actions. Thanks for watching and listening to this month's presentation of the Insurance Research Letter Live. Check back next month for more educational and informative talk about insurance and risk management, some of which will include terrorism, recognizing behaviors of concern, injuries resulting from slips and trips on a construction site. Directors and officers may need to rethink coverage in a cyber world. A Lloyd's broker's view of the back office, in-house or outsourced. Next month's featured presentation is an interview with Brigadier General Richard Wilmot, who discusses terrorism. What is it? Is terrorism increasing or decreasing? Is terrorism increasing on U.S. soil? And more. Read these and other original and educational articles from world insurance business leaders. Subscribe to the Insurance Research Letter at irletter.com/subscriptions.